your immune system runs on fluid balance. And after 60, staying properly hydrated becomes one of the most overlooked ways to protect how efficiently that system works. Water is not just about quenching thirst, it is the medium through which immune cells move, communicate, and do their work. Every immune response depends on circulation, and circulation depends on adequate hydration. As we age, the body's thirst signals become less reliable. You may not feel thirsty even when fluid levels are low. At the same time, kidneys conserve water differently, medications can increase fluid loss, and digestion becomes more sensitive to dehydration. All of this makes dehydration more common after 60, often without obvious warning signs. When the body is even mildly dehydrated, immune efficiency drops. Immune cells move more slowly through the bloodstream and lymphatic system. This delays their ability to reach areas where they're needed and slows communication between immune tissues. You may notice this as feeling run down, foggy, or slower to recover from stress or illness. These sensations are not always signs of weakness. They often reflect reduced circulation efficiency caused by low fluid levels. Hydration also plays a key role in detoxification. The immune system produces waste products as it does its job. These byproducts need to be transported out of tissues and processed by the liver and kidneys. Water is essential for this cleanup process. Without enough fluid, waste clearance slows. Inflammatory byproducts linger longer in the body, increasing background inflammation and placing additional strain on immune cells. After 60, this becomes especially important because immune repair already takes longer. Dehydration adds another layer of delay, making inflammation harder to resolve. Hydration also affects the thickness of the blood. When fluid levels drop, blood becomes more concentrated. This increases resistance in blood vessels and reduces oxygen and nutrient delivery to tissues. Immune cells rely on this delivery system to function properly. You may notice colder hands and feet or a general sense of low energy when hydration is poor. These are circulation signals, not just hydration issues. The lymphatic system, which plays a major role in immune defense, depends entirely on fluid movement. Unlike the bloodstream, it has no pump. It relies on hydration and gentle movement to circulate immune cells and remove waste. When hydration is low, lymphatic flow slows. This reduces immune surveillance and delays recovery. Hydration also supports the mucosal barriers in the body, including those in the mouth, nose, and digestive tract. These barriers are the first line of immune defense. When they are dry, they become less effective at trapping and neutralizing unwanted particles. You may notice dry mouth, nasal dryness, or digestive discomfort when hydration is insufficient. These symptoms often precede immune changes. Another important factor is temperature regulation. Dehydration impairs the body's ability to regulate temperature, which places additional stress on the immune system. Stress diverts immune resources away from repair and regulation. Hydration helps stabilize this balance, allowing immune cells to focus on their primary tasks. After 60, the immune system responds better to supportive conditions than to forceful interventions. Hydration provides one of the most basic and powerful forms of support. It's not about drinking large amounts all at once. The body responds best to steady intake throughout the day. Small, regular amounts help maintain circulation and immune efficiency. You may notice clearer thinking, steadier energy, and improved comfort when hydration becomes consistent. These changes reflect improved immune and circulatory function rather than increased stimulation. Doctors emphasize hydration because it supports every system involved in immunity. It improves circulation, supports detoxification, reduces inflammatory burden, and protects immune barriers. Importantly, hydration does not act like a supplement. It does not push the immune system. It allows it to function as designed. After 60, health depends less on adding new interventions and more on maintaining the conditions the body needs to work efficiently. Hydration is one of those conditions. It quietly supports immune resilience day after day. As you continue watching, you'll learn why fluid balance matters so much for immune health, how dehydration subtly weakens immune responses, and how simple hydration habits can help your immune system stay responsive, balanced, and efficient as you age. After 60, dehydration becomes easier to miss because thirst signals weaken, and this makes fluid balance far more important for immune efficiency than most people realize. Thirst is not just a simple sensation, it is a complex signal controlled by the brain, hormones, and kidney function. As the body ages, this signaling system becomes less sensitive. You may not feel thirsty even when your body needs fluid. This is one of the biggest reasons dehydration becomes common later in life. It doesn't announce itself loudly, it develops quietly, often without obvious warning signs. At the same time, the body's ability to conserve water changes. The kidneys become less efficient at concentrating urine, which means more fluid can be lost without being noticed. Certain medications can also increase fluid loss or blunt thirst signals even further. Because of this, many adults over 60 spend long periods slightly dehydrated without realizing it. This mild dehydration may not cause immediate discomfort, but it has a noticeable effect on immune efficiency. Immune cells rely on fluid movement to circulate, communicate, and respond. When fluid levels drop, even slightly, these processes slow down. Immune cells still function, but they do so less efficiently. You may notice this as feeling more fatigued than usual, mentally foggy, or slower to recover from stress. These sensations are often attributed to aging, but dehydration is frequently part of the picture. Dehydration also affects the concentration of substances in the blood. As fluid decreases, the blood becomes thicker. This increases resistance in circulation and makes it harder for immune cells to travel quickly to where they're needed. After 60, circulation is already more sensitive to changes in blood volume. Dehydration adds another layer of strain, reducing immune responsiveness. Another subtle effect of weakened thirst signals is irregular hydration patterns. People may drink large amounts at once after realizing they're thirsty, then go long periods without fluid. The body responds better to steady intake than to bursts. Immune efficiency depends on consistency. Fluctuating fluid levels force immune cells to constantly adjust, reducing overall effectiveness. You may also notice dryness in the mouth, eyes, or skin. These are early signs that fluid balance is off. They often appear before immune changes become noticeable. Hydration also influences how the immune system communicates with other systems. Fluid balance affects hormone transport, nutrient delivery, and waste removal. When hydration is inconsistent, these systems struggle to coordinate. After 60, the margin for error narrows. Small imbalances have larger effects. This is why fluid balance becomes more critical, even if activity levels are lower than before. Doctors emphasize hydration in older adults not because dehydration causes dramatic symptoms, but because it quietly undermines multiple systems at once. The immune system is especially vulnerable to this. Another factor is temperature regulation. Dehydration makes it harder for the body to manage heat. This places additional stress on the immune system, diverting resources away from repair and regulation. You may notice increased sensitivity to heat or cold when hydration is poor. These are signals that the body is under strain. Hydration also supports the lymphatic system, which depends entirely on fluid movement. When thirst signals weaken and fluid intake drops, lymph flow slows. This reduces immune surveillance and delays waste removal. After 60, maintaining lymphatic flow becomes more dependent on hydration than physical activity alone. Recognizing that thirst is no longer a reliable indicator changes how we approach hydration. Instead of drinking only when thirsty, the goal becomes regular, intentional fluid intake. This shift protects immune efficiency by ensuring immune cells have the environment they need to function smoothly. You don't need to force large volumes of fluid. The body responds best to small, regular amounts spaced throughout the day. This maintains steady circulation and supports immune responsiveness. Over time, consistent hydration restores balance. Immune cells move more freely, waste clears more efficiently, energy stabilizes. Understanding that dehydration becomes easier to miss after 60 empowers better habits. It reframes hydration not as a comfort issue, but as a foundational support for immune health. By prioritizing fluid balance even when thirst is absent, you protect immune efficiency quietly and effectively. This simple adjustment helps the immune system remain responsive, coordinated, and resilient as the body continues to age. Proper hydration keeps immune cells moving efficiently through blood and lymph, improving immune response timing, and after 60, this movement becomes especially important. The immune system is not stationary. Immune cells are constantly traveling, scanning tissues, communicating with other cells, and responding to signals. All of this movement depends on fluid. Blood and lymph are the highways of the immune system. Blood delivers immune cells quickly to areas of need, while the lymphatic system provides slower, continuous surveillance and cleanup. Both systems rely on adequate hydration to function smoothly. After 60, circulation naturally slows. Blood vessels become less elastic, and lymphatic flow becomes more dependent on external factors like movement and fluid intake. When hydration is low, these systems struggle to move immune cells efficiently. You may not feel this directly, but the effects show up as delayed immune responses. Minor issues linger longer. Recovery takes more time. The body feels slower to respond to stress or illness. Hydration influences blood volume. When fluid levels are adequate, blood flows more easily through vessels. Immune cells can travel quickly and reach tissues when needed. When fluid levels drop, blood thickens slightly, increasing resistance and slowing movement. This slowdown may seem minor, but over time, it reduces immune efficiency. Immune cells arrive later, responses are delayed, and resolution takes longer. The lymphatic system is even more sensitive to hydration. Unlike the circulatory system, it has no central pump. It relies on muscle movement and fluid pressure to circulate immune cells and remove waste. Dehydration reduces this pressure, slowing lymph flow. After 60, reduced activity combined with low hydration can significantly slow lymphatic circulation. This limits immune surveillance and delays the removal of inflammatory byproducts. You may notice swelling, stiffness, or a sense of heaviness when lymphatic flow is reduced. These sensations often improve with hydration and gentle movement. Hydration also affects how immune cells communicate. Many immune signals travel through fluid mediums. When fluid levels are low, signaling becomes less efficient, increasing the chance of miscommunication. Miscommunication in the immune system leads to either underreaction or overreaction. Hydration helps maintain clarity in these signals. Another important factor is oxygen and nutrient delivery. Immune cells require energy to function. Adequate hydration supports the transport of oxygen and nutrients through the bloodstream, fueling immune activity. After 60, energy production becomes less efficient. Hydration helps ensure immune cells receive what they need without unnecessary strain. You may notice clearer thinking and steadier energy when hydration improves. These changes reflect better circulation and immune support rather than stimulation. Hydration also helps regulate body temperature. Stable temperature supports immune timing. When dehydration disrupts temperature regulation, immune responses become less coordinated. Doctors emphasize hydration because it supports the physical movement of immune cells rather than altering immune chemistry directly. This makes it a safe and effective strategy for older adults. Proper hydration does not force immune activity, it simply removes obstacles that slow it down. Consistency matters. Drinking small amounts regularly keeps fluid levels stable, supporting continuous immune movement. Large amounts consumed infrequently lead to fluctuations that the body must constantly correct. After 60, immune efficiency improves when conditions are predictable. Steady hydration provides that predictability. You may find that when hydration becomes consistent, recovery feels smoother, symptoms resolve more quickly, energy rebounds faster. These improvements reflect better immune timing. Doctors studying aging immunity often describe hydration as foundational. Without it, even healthy immune cells cannot perform optimally. Hydration supports every stage of immune response, from detection to resolution. It ensures immune cells arrive on time, communicate clearly, and disengage properly. By maintaining proper hydration, you support the movement and timing of immune responses naturally. This simple habit improves immune efficiency without stress or strain, helping the body respond smoothly and recover effectively as it continues to age. Hydration supports detoxification by helping the body clear inflammatory byproducts produced by immune activity. And after 60, this process becomes increasingly important for maintaining immune balance. Every time the immune system responds, it creates waste. These byproducts are a normal part of defense and repair, but they must be cleared efficiently to prevent inflammation from lingering. Water is the primary medium through which this cleanup happens. Inflammatory molecules are transported through fluids to the liver and kidneys, where they are processed and removed. When hydration is adequate, this system works quietly and continuously. When fluid levels drop, cleanup slows. After 60, the body already clears waste more slowly, liver metabolism becomes less efficient, kidney filtration changes, and circulation slows. Dehydration adds another barrier, allowing inflammatory byproducts to accumulate. You may notice this as lingering soreness, stiffness that lasts longer than expected, or fatigue that doesn't fully resolve. These sensations often reflect inflammatory waste that hasn't been cleared effectively. Hydration helps maintain blood volume and pressure, which are necessary for efficient filtration. The kidneys rely on adequate fluid to remove waste products from the blood. When fluid is low, the kidneys conserve water, slowing waste removal. This conservation may protect fluid balance short term, but it increases the concentration of inflammatory byproducts in circulation. Immune cells remain exposed to these signals, prolonging inflammation. After 60, this prolonged exposure contributes to low grade chronic inflammation that affects multiple systems at once. Hydration also supports the lymphatic system's role in detoxification. The lymphatic system collects waste from tissues and transports it back into circulation for processing. This movement depends entirely on fluid and gentle pressure. When hydration is insufficient, lymphatic flow slows. Waste accumulates in tissues, increasing discomfort and immune activation. You may notice swelling or heaviness when lymphatic flow is reduced. These sensations often improve when hydration becomes consistent. Another important factor is digestion. The gut produces immune related waste during normal digestion and microbial activity. Adequate hydration helps move this waste through the digestive tract efficiently. After 60, slower digestion combined with dehydration increases the likelihood that inflammatory compounds remain in contact with the gut lining longer than intended. This can trigger immune responses and increase systemic inflammation. Hydration supports the gut barrier by maintaining mucus layers that protect intestinal cells. When hydration is low, these protective layers thin, allowing more immune activation. This highlights how detoxification and immune regulation are connected. Clearing waste efficiently reduces immune workload. Hydration also supports cellular detoxification. Cells produce waste during energy production and immune activity. Water helps transport these byproducts out of cells and into circulation for removal. When hydration is insufficient, waste accumulates inside cells, interfering with function and signaling. Immune cells become less efficient and more reactive. You may notice improved clarity and comfort when hydration improves. These changes reflect better cellular housekeeping rather than increased stimulation. Doctors emphasize hydration for detoxification because it supports natural processes rather than forcing elimination. The body is designed to detoxify continuously, but it requires fluid to do so. After 60, detoxification becomes more dependent on supportive conditions. Hydration is one of the most important. Hydration also reduces oxidative stress by diluting reactive molecules and supporting antioxidant systems. This further reduces inflammatory burden. Consistency matters here as well. Drinking enough water consistently prevents waste accumulation. Occasional hydration cannot compensate for chronic low fluid intake. You may notice that regular hydration improves morning comfort. Stiffness decreases, energy feels steadier. These improvements reflect overnight detoxification, working more effectively. Doctors studying aging and inflammation often describe hydration as a quiet facilitator. It doesn't eliminate inflammation directly, it allows the body to resolve it naturally. By supporting detoxification, hydration reduces the need for immune cells to remain active. Inflammation resolves more efficiently, protecting tissues from prolonged exposure. After 60, immune health depends less on aggressive interventions and more on maintaining the conditions that allow natural resolution. Hydration provides one of those conditions. By keeping fluid levels steady, you help the immune system clean up after itself. This quiet support reduces inflammatory burden, improves recovery, and helps maintain balance as the body continues to age. Adequate fluid levels protect circulation, blood thickness, and oxygen delivery, all of which immune cells depend on. And after 60, this relationship becomes increasingly important. Circulation is the delivery system that allows every immune function to occur. Immune cells rely on steady blood flow to reach tissues, receive nutrients, and communicate with other systems. Water is a major component of blood volume. When hydration is adequate, blood remains fluid and moves smoothly through vessels. When fluid levels drop, blood becomes more concentrated and thicker. This increases resistance within blood vessels and slows circulation. After 60, blood vessels naturally lose some elasticity. They don't expand and contract as easily as they once did. When dehydration adds extra thickness to the blood, circulation becomes even more strained. Immune cells must work harder to travel through narrowed or less flexible vessels. You may notice this as a general sense of sluggishness, cold hands or feet, or reduced stamina. These sensations are often related to circulation rather than strength or fitness. Adequate hydration helps maintain optimal blood pressure and flow. This ensures immune cells can reach areas of inflammation or injury promptly. Timing matters in immune responses. Delays can mean prolonged inflammation or slower healing. Oxygen delivery is another critical factor. Immune cells require oxygen to produce energy and function effectively. Hydration supports red blood cell movement and oxygen transport. When blood flow is smooth, oxygen delivery is efficient. After 60, oxygen utilization becomes less sufficient. Hydration helps offset this by improving delivery rather than increasing demand. You may notice clearer thinking and better physical comfort when hydration improves. These changes reflect improved oxygen supply to the brain and muscles. Hydration also supports nutrient delivery. Immune cells need glucose, amino acids, and micronutrients to function. These nutrients travel through the bloodstream dissolved in fluid. Low hydration reduces delivery efficiency. Without adequate nutrients, immune cells become less effective and more prone to prolonged activation. This contributes to chronic inflammation. Blood viscosity also affects clotting and vascular stress. Thicker blood increases strain on the heart and blood vessels. This stress can trigger inflammatory signaling, placing additional burden on the immune system. Adequate hydration reduces this strain, supporting cardiovascular health and immune balance simultaneously. Doctors emphasize hydration in older adults because it protects multiple systems at once. It improves circulation, reduces vascular stress, and supports immune timing without introducing new variables. Another important aspect is microcirculation. Small blood vessels deliver immune cells and nutrients directly to tissues. Dehydration affects these tiny vessels first, reducing local immune support. You may notice slower healing of small cuts or bruises when hydration is poor. These are signs of reduced microcirculation. Hydration also influences temperature regulation. Proper circulation helps distribute heat evenly. When dehydration disrupts this, immune responses can become dysregulated. After 60, maintaining stable internal conditions helps immune cells function calmly and efficiently. Consistency again matters. Fluid levels fluctuate throughout the day. Regular hydration maintains stable circulation. Large amounts consumed infrequently create peaks and drops that stress the system. Doctors often recommend sipping fluids regularly rather than waiting until thirst appears. This approach supports continuous circulation and immune readiness. Adequate hydration also supports the heart's workload. When blood is less viscous, the heart pumps more efficiently. This reduces strain and supports long term cardiovascular health. A healthy cardiovascular system supports immune resilience by ensuring immune cells can travel and respond effectively. After 60, the immune system becomes more dependent on supportive circulation than sheer strength. Removing barriers to movement improves function more than stimulation. Hydration provides this support quietly. It does not force immune responses. It ensures the environment is favorable. By maintaining adequate fluid levels, you protect circulation, oxygen delivery, and nutrient transport. These factors work together to support immune efficiency and resolution. This simple habit reduces stress on the immune system and improves its ability to respond and recover. As the body continues to age, hydration becomes a key ally in maintaining balance, comfort, and resilience without complication. Consistent, steady hydration throughout the day supports immune barriers, temperature regulation, and long term immune resilience. And after 60, this consistency becomes far more important than total volume alone. The immune system does not respond well to extremes. It responds best to stable conditions it can rely on. One of the immune system's first lines of defense is the body's physical barriers. These include the mucosal surfaces of the mouth, nose, throat, lungs, and digestive tract. These surfaces trap and neutralize unwanted particles before they reach deeper tissues. Hydration keeps these barriers moist and functional. After 60, these protective surfaces dry out more easily. Reduced saliva production, nasal dryness, and changes in digestion all make immune barriers less effective when hydration is inconsistent. Dry barriers are more fragile and less capable of trapping harmful particles. You may notice dry mouth, throat irritation, or nasal dryness when hydration is low. These are not minor discomforts. They are signs that immune defenses at the surface level are weakened. Steady hydration helps maintain mucus layers that protect these surfaces. When hydration is consistent, these layers remain intact, improving the body's ability to filter what enters. Temperature regulation is another critical factor. The immune system is sensitive to temperature changes. Dehydration impairs the body's ability to regulate heat, increasing stress on immune cells. After 60, temperature regulation becomes less efficient. Even mild dehydration can lead to overheating or chills, both of which divert immune resources away from repair and regulation. Consistent hydration supports sweating and circulation, helping maintain stable internal temperature. This stability allows immune cells to focus on their primary functions instead of responding to stress. You may notice that when hydration improves, tolerance to heat and cold improves as well. This reflects reduced strain on the immune and nervous systems. Long term immune resilience depends on reducing daily stressors that quietly tax the system. Dehydration is one of those stressors. It doesn't cause immediate illness, but it steadily undermines immune balance. The immune system learns from patterns. When hydration is steady, immune cells operate in a predictable environment. When hydration fluctuates widely, immune cells must constantly adjust, reducing efficiency. This is why drinking large amounts occasionally does not provide the same benefit as small amounts regularly. Sudden increases in fluid cannot fully compensate for long periods of low hydration. After 60, the body becomes less tolerant of these fluctuations. Systems work best when conditions remain stable. Steady hydration also supports sleep quality. Dehydration can disrupt sleep through cramps, dry mouth, or nighttime awakenings. Poor sleep, in turn, weakens immune regulation. Improved hydration often leads to more restful sleep, which further supports immune resilience. These systems reinforce one another. Hydration also influences digestion, timing, and gut health. Consistent fluid intake supports smooth digestion, reducing immune activation in the gut. This lowers systemic inflammation. You may notice improved digestion and comfort when hydration becomes routine. This reflects calmer immune signaling rather than changes in diet alone. Doctors emphasize steady hydration because it is simple, safe, and foundational. It supports immune barriers, circulation, detoxification, and nervous system balance without requiring supplements or complex routines. After 60, immune health depends less on doing more and more on removing unnecessary strain. Hydration removes strain quietly. Consistency also makes hydration sustainable. Small, regular sips are easier to maintain than forcing large volumes. Habits that feel natural are more likely to last. Long term immune resilience is built through these daily habits. Hydration does not act as a treatment, it acts as maintenance. Over time, consistent hydration reduces background inflammation, supports barrier integrity, and improves immune timing. The immune system remains alert but not overworked. After 60, this balance becomes the foundation of healthy aging. By keeping fluid intake steady throughout the day, you create an environment where immune cells can protect, repair, and stand down efficiently. This simple habit supports the immune system quietly every day, helping maintain comfort, resilience, and stability as the body continues to age.